Hey everyone, so today is day 6 of me expressing me, and I guess it's Saturday, it's the weekend, I want to do something a little bit different. Um, and I'm going to talk about vision boards, and I'm going to show you my vision board that I created at the start of this year. So some people might not know what vision boards are, some people might be familiar with the concept, but basically, a vision board is something that you create. It's visual. The process is that you get lots of magazines, lots of different types of magazines. You go through the magazines, you cut out pictures that just seem to appeal to you. You cut out words that appeal to you, and then you simply arrange them onto a large piece of card, and that creates your vision board for the next period of time in your life. And then you can hang that up somewhere in your house where you live. And just having the visual presence of that can support you in remembering the vision that you have for your year, and support in actually manifesting that into your life and the things on your vision board into your life. So it's a little metaphysical, some people think it's a bit wacky. But I've done it through like a personal development group that I'm part of. I've done a vision board the last 2 years. So at the start of the year, the leader encourages us to do a vision board and to create them together. So it's just something to do, and I've enjoyed doing it. So today I'm going to show you mine and talk a little bit about the concept after I show you mine. So I'll turn my video around. So so here it is. I've got the camera turned around. So this here is my vision board for 2021. And actually, I'll show you quickly. On the back of this is actually my vision board from 2020. You can see it here in the corner. But anyway, let me just run through this a little bit. And I guess I have to be careful, because if I explain what it all means, I'm actually missing the purpose. Because the depth of meaning is beyond the words, beyond the pictures. It's bigger, I guess, than that, and maybe deeper than that. So let's start in this top right hand corner. Obviously, we've got me in the middle, and this is all what I'm looking out for in 2021. So if we go over to the top right hand corner, it says cracking life's code and explore. I certainly care about life and about exploring life and working out how it works. DNA is there as well, and I think how our DNA impacts our lives and how our environment impacts our DNA is important. There's a study, there's a new science in the last sort of 20 or 30 years called epigenetics that very much talks about how our environment will impact our DNA and how it will impact our genetic expression. So I find that all very interesting. Obviously, we all want to be the butterfly cracking out of the cocoon as well. So that's that corner. If I go over to this corner, the top left corner, there's some of the more material things here. Obviously, I love money to come into my life. Who wouldn't? But I definitely don't want it to dominate my life. I care about healthy food. I've been eating like my own home cooked food this year rather than eating processed food. Quite like that watch. I'd love a nice holiday in a nice place like that, if we're ever allowed to again. And I want to know what's going on in the world. I think that's important to me. Coming down here, there's some more general things, I guess, but important things. I want to have a year like no other. I believe connection is very important. Freedom is something I've really cared for in life, and I think we all want to be free personally in our lives, and we want to know power as well. And then the two at the bottom, I guess, making a difference, being a mentor. I think I do mentor people in my life, but I want that to be a bigger part of my life. It might have been nice if I could find a bigger word than this. Then over here, concepts like love are important to me. I think if we surround ourselves with love, that brings healing. and freedom in our lives as well. I want to live today and be mindful. Experience and expressing yourself in the now or the now. If I say it without my Northern Irish accent, is very important. And seeing the unseen, time and space, thinking beyond the physical world, I think is important as well. And this little sign says you don't need a label to be you. So I definitely very much think labels can constrict us in our lives. And we need to recognize that there's so much more to us than the sort of labels we put on ourselves, such as our jobs or whatever. We're bigger than that. So we all have to be careful with that. So I think I've spoken a lot about that. So that is my vision board for this year. Hope it's been kind of interesting. And I'll flip the camera back and finish off. Okay, so a lot of people might think, why would anyone do a vision board? And why would it work? When I first came across the concept of a vision board, I think I watched a YouTube video by a guy called John Assaraf, who's in some ways, well, certainly YouTube famous. I'm sure he's more than that potentially. But he had talked about vision boards that he had done, and he had found this picture of this incredible house that he put on his vision board. And then a few years later, he was going through some of his belongings and he found his old vision board. And he noticed this incredible house I think it's in Los Angeles or certainly somewhere beautiful in California. And he saw this picture of that house. And then he was shocked to realize it's the house that he actually now lives in. So how would that happen? I suppose to explain it potentially, whether you want to believe it to be true or not, but to believe it, you could consider it as when you put out pictures of things that you want and you let your perception experience those and attend to them, your own resonance with them can make them more and more real in your mind. And then through that energy in your mind and the creative imaginative process in your mind, your body naturally starts working out how to move towards such things. So it actually activates your mind and your creative capacity in a way that we don't normally do. We're very, I think it's left brain oriented, and we use our thoughts and we use our actions to create things. But potentially in our right brain, in the creative center of our beings, there's a potential for our subconscious to work on our side to create things in our lives. And I think if you let that sink in and explore that and see if that can work, I think there's some truth into which that actually does work. So I think with all this video, the 3 different sections, I think this has got a little bit long. But I guess that's my judgment, so I'll let it go right now. This is a video, this is me for this length of time. And maybe you've enjoyed this, maybe you haven't. And if you haven't, you're probably not watching anymore. So anyway, yeah, thanks to anyone and everyone who's listened, and have a great time.